Welcome back to my flavor maps. I'm Charlie, and today we're exploring how to build big flavors for one person in a small schoolie kitchen. Today we're mapping out Skoolie-Style Chicken Pot Pie. Now, in my opinion, there is nothing like a pot pie to make a small space feel like home. We're taking a shortcut, rotisserie chicken, frozen veggies, but we're building a real deal roux to keep it professional-ish. So, what are we looking at? When you're handed, does that mean money or company or something? Let's see, the foundation of this flavor map. Let's see. It's pretty simple. We're going to be looking at the package of those refrigerated pie crusts. These guys. Okay. We're going to have 16 ounces of shredded rotisserie chicken from the store. 12 ounces of frozen peas and carrots. Now for the body, we're going to use, about a 15-ounce can of diced potatoes. Lots of over, these guys. Then we're going to have a small white onion. We're going to finely dice that one. We're going to make simple, quick roux from about a third a cup of butter, about a third a cup of all-purpose flour. The liquid for the filling is going to be just regular old chicken broth, plus a little bit of milk. Then from the spice cabinet, we're going to be grabbing, poultry seasoning, dried thyme, half a teaspoon of black pepper, a little bit of onion powder. All in, we're looking at about 10 to 12 ingredients. Now, it's been a hard transition for me, and I'm still trying to create this habit, but I find it much easier and more constructive to gather all the ingredients before I start anything. Now, in my pre-stroke life, I would just I'd saute this, I'd grab that, I'd shake a bit of this in the pan. That worked fine. But looking back, there was a lot of inconsistencies. One day it was heavy on the thyme. Next time I make it heavy on the pepper. It was different. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. But if I want to recreate a specific flavor, especially one from my childhood, I find that gathering and portioning everything first is a lot kinder on my brain. It keeps the process enjoyable and ensures I hit that desired flavor every time. Now, I don't want to take out the creativity. I really don't. But a little pre-planning, I'm going to say, no, never mind, I can tell you what I was going to say. A little bit of pre-planning goes a long way for my success. And the best part, if you don't want to do it that way, then don't do it that way. Okay, that's why I call these my flavor maps. People take different routes, but end up at the same location. If you don't want to follow my route, maybe I want to follow yours. The journey starts with the pan. I use an 8-ounce cake pan because it fits perfectly in my convection air fryer oven thing. Okay, I grease the bottom and the sides real good. Now I use shortening or softened butter. Now in my opinion though, shortening is actually better because it doesn't have the water or the milk solids that butter does, which means it won't act like a glue that binds your crust to the metal. And add a tablespoon or two of flour. You're going to tilt it till you get every inch. Then you're going to turn it over, invert it, tap out the excess. Lay your first pie crust, thawed of course, into the bottom of the pan, pressing it firmly all the way up the sides, all the way to the top. Because we're using a cake pan, we have to apply a few tricks to avoid the soggy bottom heartbreak. Blind bake that crust in the air fryer at about 360 degrees, 5-8 minutes, somewhere in there, until it's just starting to turn golden. Keep a close eye on it. Every air fryer, every convection oven, everything heats differently. and it's a total shame to burn your crust before the filling even hits the pan. Now for the filling. Let's see. We're going to dice your onion into small pieces like we said. We don't want big chunks, all right? We're only going to be cooking these for a little while, just until they're translucent. So we're going to melt butter in the skillet, and we're going to saute those onions. Whisk in flour to create your roux, and you're only going to cook this for 2 or 3 minutes. We aren't looking for dark color here. We're just looking to cook out that raw flour. You know, that flour taste, the raw, you want that gone. Next, you're going to add your rinsed and drained potatoes, no tomatoes in this, potatoes, potatoes. When I use canned items, which I rarely do, but for me, I always rinse them to remove any residual salt, hopefully. Before that butter is fully absorbed, you want to stir in your poultry seasoning, the thyme, the pepper, and the onion powder. And let them sit in the heat, in that oil for a minute, so those flavors bloom, okay? Slowly stir in the chicken broth and the milk. Bring it to a light simmer. Then you're going to fold in your shredded chicken. Once that's all incorporated, you're going to add the frozen peas and carrots. I normally do those last so I don't get smushed. Once everything is heated through, it's time to taste it. Does it need more seasoning? Is it too thick? This is your chance to make final adjustments. If it's too thick, add a splash of water. If it's too thin, let it simmer a minute longer. Once you're satisfied, you're going to pour the filling into the blind baked crust. Okay? Take a second thawed crust. There's one of these guys. And roll it out on top. You'll have some extra dough along the edges, which is perfect, because you can tuck it in around the edges to create a nice ridge. Not over the pan, just, whatever. Right? Cut some slits in the top so the steam can escape. You're going to slide the pan into an air fryer. I use it's recommended around 360 degrees for about 20-25 minutes. Well, we're looking for a golden brown crust and a bubbling through the slits top. Now, it's hard to give an exact time because these small ovens are so different. I actually tend to lower my heat by about 20-25 degrees and increase the time because the convection in my oven hits the top much harder than it does the bottom. I've found myself relying on an instant read thermometer a lot more lately. Even though the chicken is already cooked, I still recommend bringing the whole pie up to 165 degrees, just to make sure that everything is well incorporated and safe. For me, the hardest part is waiting. Now, I've learned this recently that the rest period is just as important as the cooking. It's when the finer points really come together. Let the pie rest for 5-10 minutes before you cut into it so the filling sets up. It just goes to show that the road might be long and the kitchen might be small, but you can still map out a life that you love. I'm Charlie. Thank you for being a part of my journey. Deuces.
I just wanted to let you know that we're going to be uploading new videos every Sunday, so stay tuned for more content just like this.